the Oklahoman Newsroom. This is an OU update. I'm Jenny Carlson here in studio with Ryan Aber, OU beat writer. Well, Ryan, Jalen Hurts' first game as Oklahoma quarterback is in the rearview mirror, and people are really diving into what he did, what he played like. Obviously, his feet, his ability to run, going to be part of what he does. Over the last few years, we've seen the run-pass option, the vaunted RPO, become a very popular thing. Seems like that's going to be part of the equation for him with Oklahoma, but maybe with a little twist, it looks like, after game one.
Yeah, I mean, looking at some of the things that Oklahoma's offense did against Houston, you saw things where the first look was to pass, so it's more of I think I just heard it described as more of a PRO, a pass run option, where he's looking at, especially there was a crossing route that he looked at, saw the defender go over there, which opened up space on the backside, and he just sort of stepped around that and broke off. I think that was on his 45-yard run, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a different look, and the question is this something that they're doing for Jalen Hurts? Based on what his skill set is, or is it just more of an evolution of Lincoln Riley's play calling? Lincoln Riley has always been innovative about the way he goes about drawing up plays, drawing up an offense, and this just seems like another step in that regard. So I think, yes, it has some things to do with Hurts, and certainly his running style is much, much different than we saw with Kyler Murray last year, Baker Mayfield before that. But I think it's also just the morphing of this offense into what Lincoln Riley sort of wants it to become. Well,
that's to me the willingness of Lincoln Riley to try new things. I think that's become pretty obvious over his time. He's had great running backs in tandem that he's been able to implement. He's had wide receivers of different styles and strengths. But this seems like, as you said, he's had guys that have been able to run. We saw Baker Mayfield run to some degree. Kyler Murray with the vaunted slides and pop-ups that he was well known for. But it seems like this is a different style of running quarterback in Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, this is more like a tailback. He's not afraid to put his head down and get physical with you. He's not afraid to take hits. I think he stepped out of bounds once the other day. It was really the only time that he made much of an effort to get to that sideline and get out of bounds. Everything else was straightforward running style. He's a big, strong, powerful guy, a little bit different than we saw with the world-class speed of Kyler Murray with the slides that you mentioned. He's not going to avoid contact like Kyler Murray did, and he doesn't want to, he said after the game. He said those slides take off so much yardage that they're not worth it as much, and he can withstand those a little bit better than some of those other guys. He's not the scrambler that Baker Mayfield was, but when he runs, it could be devastating, and we saw that. Heck, there's a reason why only 2 quarterbacks over the last 15 years in college football have thrown for 300 or more yards and 3 touchdowns in one game and rushed for 150 or more yards and 3 touchdowns in the same game. Johnny Manziel did it. Jalen Hurts was the second one to do it Sunday night against Houston.
We heard after the game on Sunday night, Lincoln Riley said that, there maybe weren't as many designed runs as it looked like, but there were definitely times when Jalen Hurts was running that he wasn't in scramble mode necessarily. Is some of that the result of this run pass or pass run option, whatever you want to say, developing into more of a running play for Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was just the reads that Houston was giving him. When Lincoln Riley says those weren't called runs, well, yeah, they weren't called runs, but they were called to unfold the way that they did, which is you look at the checks, and if the pass isn't there, that first option isn't there, then you know that somewhere else has to be open on the field. And that's what makes the run-pass option so devastating for a defense, is because you've got to figure out something to give up. And a lot of times for Oklahoma, that's something to give up on Sunday, or for Houston, that something to give up on Sunday was room for the running back to run and Jalen Hurts, or the quarterback to run, and Jalen Hurts certainly took advantage of that. That's what's been so devastating about this offense for the last 4 seasons, going on 5 now, is the way that they can spread the field and force defenses to make really tough decisions. And a lot of times there's no good decision to be made.
All right, well, we'll see how that continues to evolve as this Oklahoma offense continues to evolve. That continues on Saturday night, 6 o'clock kick against South Dakota. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at Oklahoman.com and every day in the Oklahoman.